Pedro, you're kind of on this like Legends tour, right? I mean, Frankie, you know, Aldo, Dominic, man. What's the feel like on this run that you're on right now?
Let me tell you something. It's amazing. You know, that's something that I always visual to be competing with the best fighters out there. And you know, I'm very glad that I'm be able to do, you know, what I like to do the most and fighting at top 10 fighters the last 5 years. So just that for itself, it shows the kind of like competitive, high level skills fighters. We have a special at bantamweight division, and for me, you know, it's such a big honor to being a part of these fighters, and now fighting number fit former champion the last six of fights. So it's definitely something that, you know, makes me very excited and keep on working as hard as I can, as smart as I can, to keep climbing the ladders, you know, up and downs, but be able to capitalize, to learn, develop new skills, and still competing with the biggest organization in the world.
I was going to say, at this point, I mean, you're a veteran as well. I mean, a guy that's been around for a long time and, as you said, been at a high level. But when you face these former champions, does that still excite you a little bit? Is it still something special about, hey, man, that's that guy over there on the other side of the cage?
For sure, you know, for sure. Seeing guys like that I've been watching them along the years and not even imagine. I can't imagine fighting them because I always, you know, have a lot of confidence in myself. So I knew I would get super close to the best fighters out there. So, but it's definitely something really cool, you know, that I can look it back and see all, you know, my career has been taking me.
How do you evaluate Dominic right now, right? He's had like these periods of inactivity and, you know, he came back and lost, but he won. I mean, where do you think he stands as? Is he still as good as ever? Or is he taking a step down? What do you think?
I don't think so. You know, a lot of people was saying that when he had like the huge knee surgery and then he came back and did a hell of a fight with TJ Dillashaw, 5 rounds. I actually watched that fight live in Boston. And, you know, he's not a joke, man. Guy is always training. He's always getting better, you know. We are probably kind of like the same age, so don't underestimate never any of my opponents. And I'm, you know, the mindset that I come into the fight every single time that I know he's gonna be the best version of himself. So do I. So that's the reason that, you know, makes like the biggest fight, and that's what I like to do. You know, push the button quick so we can make an interest fight.
Yeah, nice. Last thing for me, I mean, you're always in fun fights, but I mean, is the result here especially important to you? I know you've had a couple setbacks. I mean, is it important that you pick up a win this time around?
Yeah, they are always looking for the win, you know. So, but we're talking about like, you know, the champion leagues of fighters, you know. So I never come right here with like, oh, I'm gonna just fight and that's okay if I don't win. No, that's not the spirit. That's not the mindset. My mindset is always to come and bring the W. You know, even though sometimes I couldn't not be able to do it, but I always looking forward to finish my fights. You know, if I don't even like to go to the judges. You know, I have some bad experience in the past, fights that I thought that I clearly won. Stats shows that won, so I don't trust. So I go for the kill always.
Pedro right here. I think after your last fight, you had mentioned possibly moving down to flyweight. Is that still something you're considering after, like, even if you win this fight?
That's something that I thought about it. I'm not certain, you know, 100% sure that's gonna be the right move. I definitely, I thought about it. You know, that was the conversation that I had with Aldo right after the fight, and you know, the media was, you know, putting out there that, you know, I thought about it. As I was thinking about it, I got the offer to fight Dominick. So bantamweight, that's the bantamweight, that's the division that I always fought. And it is not an easy weight cut. It's something that I have to work like on my diet, you know, the weight cut process and stuff like that. So I don't know. Let's see. I'm very focused for this fight. You know, bantamweight, that's the division that I always felt great of fighting, and we see.
Dominic was in here a few hours ago, and he labeled you a power puncher and a knockout artist lately. So looking at Dominic, how would you label his skill set entering this?
Definitely a unique style, excellent footwork in and out, good wrestling skills, well-rounded fighter, good cardio, and very strategic, smart.
Hey, Pedro, back here. So, like you said, Dominick, he's got a kind of a weird style. It's pretty hard to replicate. How have you gone about sort of replicating that style in training? How have you sort of used your training partners?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have a couple of the guys in the gym that they are really good in copying people and try to mimic and try to look like. I also train with a lot of good wrestlers, good grapplers, guys that have a footwork and an outside, not exactly at his style, but we kind of break down his style, and you watch some of the videos and see what would work, good on my end for this fight. We capitalize and all that, and I'm gonna be able to display and try to stop Dominick on Saturday night.
And what did you think of his fight against Casey Kenny and the result overall?
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. He was moving. Casey was missing a lot of the punches. Dominick was able to outpoint him on the outside. I felt he was the guy that was more active in the fight. So it was, I never underestimated him. I knew he's a hell of a fighter. And I came over here in the best version of myself.
And obviously, you and Jose Aldo, you shared something very special. You had a great fight, and clearly you have a good relationship. Now he's had a great performance again against Rob Font, and it's looking like he's close to the title again. What do you think of Jose Aldo's future in the bantamweight?
Oh yeah, he's a definitely very strong, powerful fighter. He was able to get like a good timing, I guess, making the bantamweight and last fight. I felt him super strong, and some of the fights that I watched before, especially in a bantamweight, he didn't make the same mistakes. He was able to move really good, and I thought it was a very good fight. I was able to clean good shots. I think for the fact he was the bigger guy, he was able to observe a little better. But I was able to land some clean shots right on his face, and that was hats off to him and his team to be able to put a guy which was the best featherweight at all times at bantamweight and feel as big, as strong, as powerful as he used to be back in those days at featherweight.
Thank you.
Pedro, bem rápido aqui em português. Você já lutou com Edgar, com Aldo, com Cody Garbrandt e agora com Dominick Cruz. Quão é importante lutar contra ex-campeões para o seu legado?
Com certeza. Para mim é uma honra muito grande poder estar fazendo parte da organização dos melhores top 10 da categoria nos últimos 5 anos. E por esse motivo eu vim lutando com grandes atletas da divisão. Nas últimas 6 lutas, 5 ex-campeões mundiais, e isso faz parte do meu trabalho, faz parte de algo que eu sempre visualizei, almejei, e tá entre os melhores, e os melhores têm que lutar contra os melhores.
Sobre o Dominick Cruz em específico, dois pontos rápidos. Um é onde você vê possíveis falhas nele, no jogo dele, que você pode aproveitar, e 2 é o desafio que é ter alguém para emular o jogo dele, que é tão característico.
Sim. Qual que foi a primeira pergunta?
Onde você vê falhas no jogo dele.
Não vejo muitas falhas no jogo dele. Sim, eu vejo assim alguns espaços que a gente pode otimizar isso ao nosso favor. Não vejo falha em si, por ser um atleta de nível tão alto tecnicamente. Então acredito que vai ser nos detalhes.
Sobre emular o jogo dele. Ou alguém para emular o jogo dele nos treinos.
Nós temos grandes atletas na América Top Team, né, com ótimo histórico no wrestling, no grappling, lutadores que lutam na distância longa e são rápidos. Então nós tivemos a oportunidade de fazer um mix de todos esses jogos, estudar taticamente e técnica as lutas do Dominick, e eu tenho certeza que sábado vai ser um show.
Último então, A gente viu um vídeo do UFC que depois da luta, você conversando com o Aldo, você mencionou que iria descer de peso. E agora você permanece no 61. Como foi? Você pensou de fato, você já pensava antes da luta, você ainda continua pensando nisso? É possível que a gente veja na divisão de baixo?
Eu achei bem interessante o fato do Aldo ser um grande lutador na categoria pena e ter sucesso na decência pro peso galo. Isso me deu uma possibilidade ali no momento ali de provavelmente fazer um trabalho assim no futuro. Foi uma ideia que eu tive ali no momento. Logo depois dessa luta, o UFC me ofereceu o Dominick Cruz depois de algumas semanas. Eu sempre lutei na categoria galo. A categoria lá foi sempre minha categoria desde quando eu iniciei. Vão ser minha 28ª luta, sábado, na categoria galo. Então, o que eu posso dizer agora é que eu estou focado para essa luta de sábado. E depois dessa luta, aí eu paro para pensar e vejo quais são os próximos passos para o futuro.